It's time for the breakdown. Coming live right now.
Momentarily, but I am joined in studio, a longtime NBAer, former Raptor, John Wallace. John, how you doing?
Yeah, man, everything's good. Thanks for having me.
So, what brings you up? You got a lot of things on the go at this point. Tell us about what brings you to town.
My youth mentoring program called Winning Because I Tried. We're trying to bring it up here to the Toronto area, and my boy Audley's got a book out, Basketball Talk, and we're here to promote that also.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the book right now. It's entitled Basketball Talk, The Way It Should Be, a baller and celebrity quote book. You can find it in stores. It's been out since May. And you're big on illiteracy and trying to crack down on that. Why is that so important to you?
Well, because, I mean, like Audley was saying, I wasn't even aware of this. Like 48% of adults in Toronto are illiterate. In Rochester and Buffalo, New York, it's like at 52%. That's just not acceptable. And we're here to try to combat and change that problem today.
And you can go to the website, thebreakdownbook.com, and people can get involved. And again, you're in town for the next couple of days and trying to fight illiteracy. And you bring up an interesting point. You know, I think when that word gets thrown out there, that term, you think of the kids. But I didn't know that statistic either. We're talking about adults here, 48% in Toronto, as much as 52% just on the other side of the border. Those are staggering numbers.
And it also, obviously it trickles down to the kids. So
right.
If your parents are illiterate or whatever, it's going to be tougher to teach your kids. And that's just something that's not acceptable. We shouldn't accept it, and we got to try to do whatever we can to start changing that today.
John Wallace is in here with me, longtime NBAer, former Raptor. He's in town to promote the breakdown set to slam dunk illiteracy. You can check out the website, thebreakdownbook.com. He's also promoting a great book entitled Basketball Talk, The Way It Should Be, a baller and celebrity quote book. You can find it in stores. Before we hit a break here, and you're going to stick around for another segment.
Absolutely. I'm here till you tell me to leave.
Beautiful. I've got to get your thoughts. You've been out of the league for a little while now, but I'm sure you have a lot of connections. What's your read on this lockout? Do you see an agreement taking place anytime soon?
If I had 30 minutes, I think I could solve the whole thing, because it's just too much money at stake. The popularity of the game is at an all-time high. We have the greatest stars in the world playing in the NBA. There's got to be a happy medium that we can reach. I mean, it has to. The fact that we haven't reached it yet is absurd. I mean, we got to get to a point. And I know it's tough. Like the owners, they don't want to concede some things, and the players don't want to concede some things. But we're going to have to concede some things on both sides, and hopefully we can meet in the middle somewhere. We're going to be a little unhappy. They're going to be a little unhappy. Then everyone's happy.
Well, that's the way it works. And in the end, you know it's going to get done, and then both sides are going to walk away thinking that they won. You know, that's usually the way it ends up working.
I just don't think we can, like the last time there was a lockout, 98, 99, I don't think we can wait till January. It'd be really detrimental to the game. And, you know, the economic situation of our world, you know, you can't have people arguing over billions of dollars when people out here struggling to make $1, you know. So it's a lot more involved. It's a lot more, you know, the deal's got to get done, and it's got to get done fast, I think.
What do you think about David Stern as a commissioner?
David Stern is, what's he make, $10 million a year or something?
Lots of cash,
I mean, wow. And don't get me wrong, he's the greatest marketer in the world. Like, the game of basketball, since he's been involved, is globalized. It also helps when you have Magic and Michael Jordan and Larry Bird at the beginning of that globalization, so to speak. It makes it a lot easier. But he's maintained it since those guys have been out the league. We're still stronger, if not stronger now. So he's a great marketer, but sometimes I think it gets misconstrued like he's like a part of the NBA that we can't live without. Like, it's a players' league. I don't care how you put it. It's a players' league. If top 25 players in the NBA go overseas, the NBA will fail. I know that. You know, it's
fans, which side are they going to end up landing on? Why aren't you guys, or why aren't the players constantly coming out and saying, hey, listen, we are the league?
I think the one thing the players are doing, they're having all these charity games. They're letting all the fans in for free. The difference between the NFL and the NBA is the NBA has an outlet overseas. They can go to Europe, make the same kind of money, if not, sometimes in some cases, more money. And so if you have too many guys, like once Kobe goes overseas, if that deal happens, then you already got Deron Williams over there. Other big name stars are going to go overseas, and there's not going to be this rush to get back here because they're going to be over there. They're going to get comfortable. It's easy living over there. 1 or 2 games a week. The fans, they're so passionate over there. So I could foresee guys going over there and be like, you know what, I'm not coming back to the NBA.
But from a PA standpoint, is that a good thing? Like from a solidarity standpoint? Like if you get a guy like Kobe, who in my opinion is the most powerful player going right now, he's in the biggest market, well, if outside of New York he is, he's the face of this league. If he decides to jump ship, if he decides to head overseas, and there are some conversations that he could end up in Italy getting paid decent money, it's not necessarily about the money for him, but there will be stipulations within his deal that once the lockout ends, he can come right back and play for the Lakers. But from an image standpoint, from a message standpoint, is that a good thing for the PA if their big guy, their big dog, their face decides, all right, I've had enough of the negotiations, I'm going overseas?
Well, I think it's good in the way that it makes the owners realize, look, they have an outlet. They don't need to come play for the Lakers. He can go and play in another team, make the same type of money, and create another fan base over there. So the onus is going to be on the owners once those guys start going to do something. And I think it's good from a PA standpoint. Obviously, you want all the players to stand together and be solid, and like there's T-shirts, stand strong, stand together. But it's going to get tough because it's, like you said, it's not about money. Kobe and Dwayne Wade and those guys are going to miss the competition. They're going to want to compete. And where can they compete? Well, they're doing these charity games, and everyone's playing them now. But once November, December roll around, you're going to want that real competition. And they're going to go overseas to Europe, I think, if the deal's not done.
John Wallace is in here with me. He's in town for the John Wallace and the Breakdown set to Slam Dunk Illiteracy. Long-time NBA, former Raptor. He's in town for the John Wallace and the Breakdown set to Slam Dunk Illiteracy. He's also promoting a great book, Basketball Talk, The Way It Should Be. So tell me a little bit more about this before I get you out of here, John. Again, you're in town for the next couple of days, and you mentioned some statistics out of the gate. Up here in Toronto alone, or Canadian adults alone, 48% of adults have a low literacy level, or they're illiterate completely. Shocking numbers. Again, what can be done here? How can people help out? How can people get involved?
Well, we're gonna try to bring awareness to it. We're gonna be going to different high schools and YMCA's and community centers and things of that such to try to bring awareness to it. And our next step is try to put together a program that parents can come and be involved in it, not be embarrassed to learn how to read. Because like Dexter Manley, a guy went through the college, high school, college, NFL. He's 32 years old and can't read. That's unacceptable. And the problem is once you get to a certain age, you're embarrassed to learn how to read. So we got to figure out a way to make it cool to learn how to read no matter what age you are.
And again, you can check out the website, thebreakdownbook.com. Listen, John, thanks so much for popping down.
Thanks, man. I appreciate you.
That's John Wallace, longtime NBA or former Raptor, again, an alumnus of Syracuse, not necessarily happy with the move from the Big East to the ACC. I don't think he's alone in that. And he's in town again for the John Wallace and the Breakdown set to Slam Dunk Illiteracy. You can check out the website, thebreakdownbook.com. And the book itself is Basketball Talk, The Way It Should Be, a baller and celebrity quote book. Check that out. It is in stores all over the city. You can catch it online as well. So we appreciate John popping down. Coming up in hour 4, Ray Ferraro, our TSN hockey analyst, will check in. Dave Naylor will